What is it indeed? How you doing, folks? I just thought we'd do a different intro. I just felt like something different. So I used the intro that I put together for the Paranormal Portal investigation series. There's one video out there already that is the investigating the Davenport Hotel in Spokane, Washington. And you can find that under the Paranormal Investigations playlist on YouTube. And I know it's up on Rumble as well. So if you guys want to check it out, that's cool. But that's a song that I wrote and was co-wrote with Jesse Wilkins of Hometown Ghost Stories. He put such a cool spin on it. That guy is so talented. So that was kind of a collaboration effort. But I just love that tune. It just gives me chills. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed that. Just kind of mix it up a little bit, but welcome everybody to the Paranormal Portal. It is Saturday night, and I am incredibly honored that you're giving up part of your weekend just to hang out with me. That's amazing. So, what are we going to do tonight? Well, what do we do every night? We're trying to take over the world. No. We're not. That's a different show. We are going to go through the Paranormal Portal and talk about all of the impossible things that happen all the time. So I don't know what you guys think, but I think it sounds like an epic journey. And I hope you're ready for, an epic journey. And I hope that I deliver an epic journey. That's my agenda. That's always on my, that's always on my agenda for every night that I do the shows. But, sometimes I think we come through and other times I think, boy, there's a train wreck. But hopefully we have a good one tonight. Again, this show is absolutely unrehearsed, unscripted, and you're getting everything as it comes out of my noise hole. So there isn't always a rhyme or reason for it. Inconceivable. Princess Bride. Love it. Love it. All right. So, I guess, what do I got to say? Well, it's just you and me tonight, guys. Hey, Grateful Owl. Good to see you. Hope everything's wonderful. It's a great picture, by the way. What am I going to say? What was I going to say? Feels like I was going to say something. Well, I'm going to say one thing because I hope some of you guys can make it. This would be really fun. As always, whenever I do conferences and stuff, I like to let you guys know as much as I can, because I would absolutely adore the opportunity to meet some of you out there that are listening to the shows. And of course, if you can make it to Vernal, Utah on September 4th through the 7th to come to PhenomeCon, that would be fantastic. I will be there and Sheldon will be there with me. And we'll be having a Paranormal Portal table. And if you come, you could be the proud owner of, I'm just saying, you could be the proud owner of let's get to this up, of one of these babies. That's right, Paranormal Portal sticker. It is made for outdoor, indoor, putting on your pewter, putting on your car, wherever you want it. That's a Paranormal Portal sticker. I had a bunch of those made. So I'm going to be giving them away, of course, because I'm trying to raise awareness of what we're doing. But I get that. That's the bigger size. I got a smaller size that everyone else gets, but you guys are special. You get the bigger ones. They're only bigger by a half inch, but you get that extra half inch of love. That didn't sound right at all. Good God. I don't know what the hell's wrong with me. Yeah, remember how I said it was going to be an epic show? Probably not. No. Brent, did you get that thing I sent you on Discord? I don't think I did. Hi, hello, Brent. Thank you. Rachel gets it right. Oh, hi. What was the thing you sent me on Discord? Let me take a peek. I didn't see anything. Did I? I don't know. Let's see. Where did you send it to me on Discord? Where's your message? Hey, Brent, did you get that thing? Dirty birdie. Where did you send it exactly? Because I don't think I see anything. Let me look. It doesn't look like I've gotten anything. How did you send it to me? And if you can let me know, please, I would appreciate that. But I don't see anything. Did you do it in just the general, or did you send it to me as a private message? I'm not really sure what I'm looking for here. I haven't looked at Discord for a couple days just because I've been absolutely swamped. Everyone, welcome Janet. Janet joined. That's one of the things we're going to be doing tonight, by the way, everybody, is we're going to be doing the Discord question of the week. Special thank you to Chucky Danger for continuing to come up with these questions. Oh, and Bill Simone, good to see you. It says Gramps. It's in parentheses. It's Gramps. There it is. There's Gramps. There's up here is Janet. So great to see you guys. Thank you for joining. Let's see. What is this, Barbara? Hang out with the YouTube chatters at Paranormal Portal. Oh, that's very sweet, Barbara. Thank you for doing that. That's wonderful. I don't see anything, but let me scroll in the chat. I probably missed it now if you said where it was. Dogman tab. Dogman tab. Okay, I'm looking. I didn't know I was expecting something, but Brent Thomas, it's here. Maggie. Thank you, Maggie. Yeah, I need all the pointers I can get. Went to Rose Hill Cemetery in Idaho Falls, Idaho to check out the local legend. What is it? Frank Wilbur. What is the local legend of Frank Wilbur, though? I'm not familiar with that. No. Huh. Well, that looks really wild. What is this? Frank Wilbur, 1870 to 1925. Huh. I'm not familiar with his legend, so I don't know the backstory on Frank Wilbur. Again, this is Wool, Gertrude and William. Wolf, W-U-L-F. Oh, I thought it was an E, but that's an F. Okay. No, I'm not familiar with any of this, I guess, but if there's a backstory to this, please send it to me, and we can discuss it on the shows. I just don't know anything about it for tonight's show. But thank you for doing that. And I love that stuff. But we'll get to the question of the week stuff later, as always. But we're going to be doing the news first. It is just me and you guys. Again, getting back to this, though. PhenomeCon, September 4th through the 7th in Vernal, Utah. And it's happening at the lovely Uinta Current Conference Center. It's a really cool place. Very nice accommodations. They just have an incredible event. It's a long event. It's 4 days. You don't have to come for all of it, but there is apparently There's a wait list to become a vendor. I don't know that. But anyway, it's a great conference. There's so many amazing speakers that are going to be there. If we refresh this, I don't know if they've updated it anything or not, but looks like David Paulides is going to be there, which is, Missing 411, Maria Mayer of Expedition Bigfoot, Travis Taylor of Mysteries of Skinwalker Ranch, William Henry is going to be there, Nick Pope. If you're into UFOs, you know about Nick Pope, and George Knapp, of course. George is wonderful. I've never met him, but he just seems like a fantastic guy. Then there's Eric Bard and Greg Lawson. Eric is from Mysteries of Skinwalker Ranch. Greg Lawson's been on several different shows and is a wonderful guy. Interviewed him. There's Russ Accord, Expedition Bigfoot. Jay Stratton is there. Tony Merkel is going to be there. Mr. Tony Merkel. And he is, of course, from the Confessionals. A wonderful guy. I've known Tony for years. Never met him, but I will be meeting him this time. Whether he likes it or not, I'm going to be meeting Tony. So, fantastic stuff. There's a wonderful cast of people. Dave Schrader is going to be there. It was wonderful. Dragon from the Mysteries of Skinwalker Ranch. Jessica Blunt is a fantastic person. Met her last year and just a wonderfully unique soul. That's the best I can say. And Catherine Hallenbach, Pete Kelsey, Leroy Jackson, and Brenda Ritchie, Melissa Winterton, I think that's Thomas's wife as well, and Aaron Sagers, Scott Cassell, Richard Estep. I don't know if I like this layout. It keeps staggering. Ryan Skinner, Paul Smith, Robert Kreider is going to be there, as well as Dustin Askelson and Don Mitchell. I don't know who Don Mitchell is. I guess he's the chief of Wildland Division, Uinta Basin. So sounds like he's a First Nation guy. That's really cool. Fire management officer. Wonder what he's going to talk about. Spends a lot of time in the hills and mountains. I'm not sure what he talks about, but that's interesting. Oh, he's a senior member of the Eastern Shoshone tribe. Oh, that's pretty cool. I'd love to sit in on what he has to say because I love those First Nations perspectives and stories and wisdoms and such. There's so much that they have to offer. And so this will be going on September 4th through the 7th in Vernal, Utah. So if you can be there, I'd love to meet you. Love to have you stop by and say hello to Sheldon and I. And come and enjoy the absolutely incredible conference that they put on there. They really do an amazing job. So they've been at it for several years. So it's not like their first rodeo. First conferences, you're always like, oh man, is this going to go well? How's this going to go? But these guys know what they're doing and they do a hell of a job. So I am so tired. Maggie, why are you tired? This is the portal time. You're supposed to be all excited and pumped and sitting on the edge of your seat. But no, I'm sorry you're tired, but thanks for being here. I appreciate that a bunch. So anyway, that's coming up. I did want to do that announcement because I neglected to do that the last couple of shows, I guess, talk about the PhenomeCon happening. But I'd love to see you there if you can be there. It's really, really cool. It's an amazing rush for me personally to have people come up and go, oh, hey, I love the show. I listen to you all the time. It's like, oh my God, that's so cool. It just means so much to me. It's just such I don't know, because when I'm doing these shows, whether it's the live shows, of course I have the chat. So I can see that you guys are here and are participating and stuff, which is amazing. But, then I do the podcasts, which are pre-recorded. I encapsulate them. I send them out, and then the videos. And, I see numbers, I see digits, but I don't see the people. And so it's really fascinating and fun for me to meet the people that are out there, consuming this stuff and just some incredibly amazing people. That was, when I went to Pocatello and met everybody over there. There were so many cool people. There was a guy named Ben and of course I got to, my booth was right next to Michael Freeman. So we had a good time. And Mike's a great guy. He really is. And I met Jane and her daughter Scotty. They were wonderful people, just a lot of fun. And, I just have such a fascinating, fun time at these conferences. They're exhausting, but it's just so great to have a chance to connect and to hang out and laugh and joke and do pictures, it's just so surreal and it's a great experience. It'd be cool to have a virtual reality group meeting. Yeah. A virtual reality though. Wonder how you could do that. I mean, We've got an Ovulus too, or whatever, out here. The Minion uses all the time, but I don't know if they have virtual things. And I don't know that there's so many out there that, oh yeah, I'll just put mine on. Like, not everybody has them, but it would be cool to do that. But it's even more cool to do it in person. We can shake hands and you can laugh and talk and look into each other's eyes. You know, that's just a really neat experience. So Brent BB, Dog Digger says Brent BB over in Rumble. Barbara's over there. Oh, that's the BB is for Barb. Okay, gotcha. I gotcha. I thought he's calling me baby or something. It's like, well, hello. That's the biggest part of Paracons. The Ghostly Times says networking. Yeah, absolutely. And thanks for checking us out, the Ghostly Times. It's nice to meet you over on they're over on Rumble checking out the show, so I appreciate that. I'm always fascinated and thrilled to see new names pop up. So thanks so much for giving this a shot. I'm just sitting here flapping my lips, maybe about nothing, but it's just important to me. And if there's an opportunity to meet you guys, I'd love for us to have that opportunity, you know. So if you can make it, be there. And I don't get paid anything from the conference for promoting it, so it's not like there's a hidden meaning there. I just really love meeting you guys when I have that chance. So be in Vernal if you can. I'm looking into some conferences over in the East Coast or more central, because I know it's impossible or really hard for people to, you know, make some of these journeys, obviously, but, you know, I'll do what I can. But anyway, hello everybody. Janet Tatum, good to see you. Thanks for coming in, Janet. Wonderful to have you here. Sinfully Wicked's here. Annie Manul's here. Maggie M10. Grateful Owl is here. Rachel gets it right. The chat keeps flying. Codename Dirty Birdie, of course, is here. Karen Alberding. I'm just scrolling up as I go here. Just kind of my impromptu shout outs. Elaine Clifford is here. I got to remember to inhale once in a while instead of just a constant exhale. What is codename Dirty Birdie? Merc the Jerk. What? Tony's great. Tony, I assume you're talking about Tony Merkel, but yeah, he's a wonderful guy. He really is. He's got a heart of gold, and he works harder than anybody in the industry. There's no question the guy is just always working, trying to build something amazing, and he is. He's building something incredible, and couldn't be happier for him that that he's been seeing such an increase in what they're doing, and expanding the scope of what he's doing. And those are a lot of the same visions I have for the portal, but Tony's way ahead of me. So, and I couldn't be happier for him. He's a wonderful guy. So, Where Then Wolf next. Oh, Where Then Wolf. Oh, okay. I get what you're saying. Dirty Birdie. I just saw that now in the chat. Yeah, that is kind of, I didn't know those were right next to each other. I couldn't tell from those photos, but that's crazy. That is crazy. Werewolf. Yikes. When the two shall be met, hell shall open in its wake. I don't know. Anyway, we're going to get to the news, ladies and gentlemen, because I have an agenda to try to inform you as much as I can throughout the course of these shows. But of course, the news is always interesting. Only a few games today. Official start of the season next Saturday. Is that for posting your parcel this week, Brent? I'll message when it goes in the post. Oh, fantastic, Maggie. Thank you. That's wonderful. I really appreciate that. I always get excited to get parcels and things from you guys. Not because I want you guys to, break the bank sending me something, but just because it's so thoughtful. I've received so many great things, artwork that people have sent me that are up on the wall over here. That's off camera. I can't rotate the camera to show you because if I do, everything will be screwed up in my studio. And it's out of reach. The camera's out of reach. I can't reach it. But if you want to send anything into the shows for me specifically, you can do so by sending it to Paranormal Portal, P.O. Box 483, Sandpoint, Idaho 83864. That's the address to send any parcels or letters. It doesn't have to be a parcel. Can be a letter as well, and that's where you send it to. And it should get to me. I'll put it over in the Rumble chat as well. There we go. Paranormal Portal. There it is. There's Gypsy. Good to see you. Hey, Justin Good Earth. Glad to see you coming in. Rumble is my next project, the Ghostly Times says. Nice. I've been building a community around the Ghostly Times. Well, fantastic, the Ghostly Times. I think that's wonderful. If you ever want to come and talk to me, if you have any experiences, you're welcome to come on the podcast. I'd love to interview you. Paranormal Portal Podcast. It's available everywhere. So if you haven't heard of it, check it out. Anyway, great news also, folks. We moved up to number 38 in Spotify today for the science category. So we're moving up the charts over there and sitting at number 10 in the U.S. right now. And I don't know, single digits in both Australia and Great Britain. So I was just really thrilled to see how much things are growing in the natural sciences category. By the way, those are the iTunes charts on Chartable, but they do post Spotify charts, and I've been working hard on promoting Spotify because I think Spotify is really an emerging platform that a lot of people are using now for podcasts. I think the Joe Rogan presence there really exploded interest in podcasts on Spotify. So it's not just music. There's great entertainment over there, and hopefully people feel that the Paranormal Portal is great entertainment as well. But we're moving up the charts on Spotify, so that's exciting. All right, so if you ever want to see the charts, go to chartable.com and look up Paranormal Portal, and you can see all the charts and the reviews if you want to. I think we're at like 4.6 out of 5 stars reviews. Some people are just dicks on those reviews. I don't know why. I mean, one person just out of the blue is like, this show is MAGA trash. Now, I never, ever, ever, ever go into politics. First of all, I don't even talk about my political opinions on any of these shows. It's not the purview of my show to go political and to try to push an agenda or anything. It's just like, whatever you believe, just vote your heart. But for some reason, this guy gave me 1 star and said my show is MAGA trash. What? So I don't know. There's nothing I can do about it. It's just the nature of the beast. But fortunately, a lot of other people have, come in and offset that. But it's like, geez, that's so cruel. All right. Anyway, let's not MAGA, MAGA, the Trump. Basically, was saying I'm a Trump show. I'm fine with with whatever people like or don't like. That's up to you. It's not up to me, or it's not within the scope of what I do to try to convince you to think one way or the other. I just my thoughts are just make sure you're well informed, and then make your decision. Wah, wah, wah. Maggie. What? I don't know. All right. Anyway, let's get to the news. I'm going to try to get you informed and see if we can update you on some new events in the world. Maybe you'll learn something new. Now, it is the Paranormal Portal news. It's not always all paranormal, but hopefully it's interesting. Hopefully you find some kind of merit in sitting back and listening. So without further delay, let's get to the news. Amen, Elaine. It's enough politics everywhere else. We don't need to do it here. Most trusted news, ladies and gentlemen. That's what Wes Germer thinks, because he made that transition. Wes Germer of Sasquatch Chronicles. Wonderful guy. Absolutely wonderful. And if you missed it, I guest hosted Sasquatch Chronicles a week ago today and had a great time doing it. And people seemed largely supportive of that. I mean, some people in his audience weren't thrilled that I was doing it, but I don't think it was personal. It's just that I'm not Wes, and they love Wes. And granted, I understand completely. I think Wes does his show. There can never be anyone else. But anyway, it was just a cool experience either way. So if you missed it, check it out. That was last week's show on Sasquatch Chronicles. That's awesome. Simply Wicked. Used to have for children's cancer in Strathmore, Alberta. I'm not sure. I do try to look at the chat and see what's going on, but I'll read a comment that's absolutely has a whole context to it that I don't understand. But whatever it does, it sounds like charitable, grateful owl. So fantastic. I think that's wonderful. Welcome to the news desk here at the Paranormal Portal, where we explore the paranormal and interesting news. So hopefully you guys enjoy this. Are spreading spores? Last night we talked about spores because somebody made a mushroom computer on the news. They made a computer that's basically, a lot of the hardware is actually mycelium networks, which mycelium are the parts of the mushroom that's underground, basically the heart of the plant, not the fruiting bodies that pop up and we harvest and eat and stuff, but it's the actual core of the plant is the mycelium. And apparently they found that they make pretty good computer networks and and hardware. So I think that's interesting and fascinating, but we got into a big discussion last night about, here comes the Frankenspores and how that can go wrong in a hurry when they start experimenting with natural things like killer bees, for instance. That went well. All right. So anyway, Fungus Among Us is back. Absolutely, Elaine. And there's no rash for it. The Portobello Portal. I don't think we're getting into mushrooms tonight. I don't remember exactly what I pulled up for the news tonight, but once again, ladies and gentlemen, we utilize a lot of different sites throughout the course of the shows, and I just want to encourage you guys, please support these sites. These sites are amazing. They do an incredible job, and unfortunately, one of the big issues with having a popular site on the internet is, or at least a site that gets a decent level of traffic, is paying for it, and your traffic does help generate revenue for them to keep the lights on. And these sites are amazingly well done. They are absolutely current. And the information is incredible on these sites. And I just want to encourage you guys to go check out these sites that I announced throughout the course of the show. And they do an amazing job, and I would be heartbroken if any of them just had to close the doors. That would be horrifying. So, hey, people, Brent, I emailed yesterday about the Ghost Box Parsnip. I hope he reads it. I didn't see any email. Where'd you email it, Lisa? I'll have to look in the inbox. Sorry if I haven't seen it, but Lisa Foster, I really appreciate it. The Ghost Box Parsnip. I'm interested in reading it now, but I'll take a look before the end of the news. Yeah, he's great tonight, fully recovered from complete blunder. Oh, I'm glad everything's fine. Give Neil our love. All right, scientists invent a device that can remotely control a human mind. Yeah, we probably need some of that stuff. What in the hell are they doing? Oh, God. I don't know what the hell. It's the Jurassic Park question. Just because you can do something doesn't mean you should do something. Now, I mean, granted, there's some people that probably could use a little assistance, having a remote co-pilot that can help them through some issues they have. But for the most part, I hear stuff like that and I only cringe, but because I know that there are people going, and that's absolutely terrifying. Absolutely terrifying. Can't see that being exploited. Yeah, absolutely. Somebody's going to try to exploit that, militarize it, and God only knows how this works, but we'll get to that in a second, because this article is brought to us by an incredible site, and this site is called unexplained-mysteries.com. And I want to encourage you guys to check out this site because it's really amazing. These people do an amazing job. While this person, every article is attributed to a person by the name of T.K. Randall. And if this is one person, this person is really busting their hump, putting this site out and keeping it current and timely. So they do a hell of a job. All right. Wow. I don't know why you'd need to remotely control somebody's mind, but you know that's going to get misused every way till Sunday. I mean, there's just no way that this will be just an innocent, wonderful, advent and creating a better world. Hell no. It's going to be like remote zombie assassins or something. It's just going to be, it's going to be stupid. It's going to be stupid. Oh, God, this stuff really worries me. All right, let's see what the article says. It says the research represents the first step toward a working mind control device, but still, there's still a long way to go. Thank God. The idea that somebody can use a device to remotely manipulate your actions and behavior is disconcerting, to say the least. But for now, anyway, it still remains a work in progress. But why? Why is that a work in progress? Why? Why does somebody need the ability to remotely control someone else? I mean, really, why? All right, the breakthrough was made by researchers in South Korea's Institute for Basic Science, who had been attempting to find new ways to treat neurological disorders. Known as the I'm sure that's exactly all it's going to be used for. No. Known as the magnetogenetic interface for neurodynamics, or Nanon Mind, the device works by targeting specific regions of the brain with magnetized nanoparticles. Again, what can go wrong here? And close-range magnetic field equipment. Good Lord. In an experiment involving mice, the scientists were able to induce a marked increase in maternal and nurturing behaviors by targeting the region of the brain associated with maternal instincts. This is the world's first technology to freely control specific brain regions using magnetic fields, said director Cheon Jin-woo of South Korea's Center for Nanomedicine. We expect it to be widely used in research and to understand brain functions, sophisticated artificial neural networks, two-way brain-computer interface technologies, and new treatments for neurological disorders. They left out the zombie assassins totally, though. They never said how it's going to be militarized and used as a weapon. I mean, they didn't even mention it. They can't be that naive. They just can't be. They've got to know. I mean, it's probably funded by DARPA or something anyway, but good God. Why? Just why? It might be a technology that allows locked-in people to access their own brain, bypassing the damaged part to allow them to regain control of their body. In that case, it'd be wonderful, but it's kind of not what they're saying. They're they're implying it's going to better the human condition somehow, but I just don't see it being used that way. It won't be. There's too much corruption and control issues that we have in our society, and this desire to have these, basically automatons under this, ruling class, so to speak. And that's about as political as I'll get, but come on, that these people don't have your best interest in mind. I mean, the researchers they may very well have very altruistic ideas of what they're doing, but it'll be corrupted. It'll be perverted. It just never ceases to amaze me. So again, because they can do something doesn't mean they should do something. It is so scary. You're right, John. I just don't like this stuff. I don't like when we insert ourselves in this God mode, and ugh. I mean, if you believe in religious ideologies, even God gave people free will, and that speaks volumes. So I don't know. This is absolutely nightmare fuel. God bless it. What is wrong with the world? We don't need to control everything. Let people come to it on their own. Then it'll mean something. I mean, what does it mean if let's say you do have some self-defeating behaviors, and you got to work your way through it, like a person, let's say substance abuse issues. They wrestle it with it throughout their lives, and they may hit a point where they're like, you know what, it's got to change. I've got to defeat this, and they may go on and do that, and then it means something. It's a glorious thing because they've emerged from this. They've fought their demons and they won, and they gained that. But to go to a doctor and say, geez, I can't quit huffing gas. You know, I don't know what's wrong with me, and shoe cleaner and stuff. And, and the doctor says, well, here, just wear this and let me give you this shot and we'll just turn on the dial when you have troubles. You know, well, then it doesn't mean anything because someone else is taking control, you know, in ideas like that. Now, if it does help, let's say there's people with like stroke issues and they need to regain physical ability and control of their body. Perfect. Wonderful. If that was the entire scope of what they were doing, but it just doesn't end up that way. It ends up in black projects and weirdness and strange, you know, conspiracy stuff. And it's just like, oh God, wow. That stuff just really bugs me. It's just very troubling. Or making you buy things. Good point, Annie, because they might, oh, the revenue's down. Let's kick up the Dow here. Somebody go hit the dial. You know, it's like, oh, yeah, we don't need to be lemmings or mules. We deserve to be sovereignly in charge of our experience. That's the beauty and the virtue of being alive, right? I just don't understand. Oh, that's so troubling. Anyway, I'm sorry I'm inserting a hell of a lot of myself in this article, but God, it's just not going to work out well. It just isn't. All right. Let's get a little more positive. Sorry. There are enough sheep in the world nowadays. Well, there are that. All right, let's get to the next article. And this is also coming from unexplained-mysteries.com. Here you go. In case it wasn't enough to see your child sitting in front of a TV wasting hours or a computer wasting hours or years of their lives playing video games. Well, your child can go on and do other things now because scientists have apparently trained a bowl of goo to play a video game Pong. We don't need to solve cancer. Let's see if we can make this slime play Pong. Why? Why? Yesterday it was mushrooms, and now today it's bowls of slime that can play a video game. What the hell? I don't know what's wrong with this world, man. These scientists are absolutely freaking insane. What does that accomplish exactly? Are they going to create slime that can, again, is it going to be, they're going to be drone pilot slimes now that, oh, yeah, I got to take out this target. They'll like know that's this one task and they'll do it without conscience. It's like, oh God. All right, let's see. I'm sorry. I don't mean to be so dark, but God, it just, every advance just seems to be, how can we use this to rule the world? It's like, no. All right, the ion-laced gelatinous goo was not only able to move the bat around, but it was even able to improve over time. So it's learning. We're going to have smart slime before you know it. Yeah, that doesn't concern me. Ugh. All right, in a peculiar experiment that sounds like something out of the opening scene of a science fiction horror movie from the 50s, scientists at the University of Reading connected a bowl full of goo to a computer to learn more about the workings of biological neural networks. Yeah, this will work out great. I didn't realize I pulled up all these nightmare articles. An analog for actual biological consciousness. The substance, an ionic electroactive polymer hydrogel, is reactive to electricity, and when a current passes through it, it swells and stretches, mimicking the way the human brain forms connections. To make it possible for the goo to play Pong, a simple video game in which a bar, well, it says a bat, but it's kind of a bar, moves up and down on the screen to hit a ball, the hydrogel was covered with two sets of electrodes, one to stimulate the goo and the other to record its movements. To indicate emergent memory functions, the hydrogel must be able to influence actions within an environment, the scientists behind the experiment wrote. The change in the environment as a result of those actions must feed back to the hydrogel, leading to changes in actions and memory behavior. To construct this closed loop and quantify the effect of memory, a suitable activity is required. Remarkably, over time, the goo was able to improve its ability to play the game effectively. That's not all either. Well, tell us more. As the team is planning to teach it ever more complex tasks in the future. Skeptics of this whole experiment needn't worry, though, as there's no chance at all that the goo will escape the lab and run amok on the streets, at least not yet anyway. Oh, God. It's just, we're in the upside down. We got to be in the upside down world, right? This can't really be real. We can't be this stupid. I mean, just this absolutely devoid of critical thinking. Why do we need to, okay, so they taught slime to play. Okay, great. You can probably, could have taught a turtle or a kitten too, or, even mushrooms could probably learn how to play slime according to, what we talked about last night, or play Pong. But why don't those efforts go towards, let's solve cancer. Let's defeat that. Everybody, let's focus on that, because that would help millions and millions of people worldwide every year. I mean, it would be an amazing breakthrough for the human condition. It would better, people's, abilities to live their lives and not live in the horrible, debilitating conditions that this disease causes. It would be such a huge common good. But they're expending efforts and resources into teaching slime to play Pong. It's like, oh, thank you. I'm so glad you're applying yourselves so wonderfully. And again, how's that going to get perverted? I don't know. I got a few scenarios bouncing through my head, but none of them are real good. My BIL is a neuroscientist. He won't work in the U.S. because Big Pharma is so slimy. I can believe that. Yeah, the brother-in-law is that BIL, I think. Anyway, I'm not... Yeah, and tennis. It's just like, what the hell is going on? How does this get to be what we expend research efforts on? If they can teach the slime to go kill cancer, fantastic. Let's do that. Let's aim that way. I just don't understand. It's just craziness. All right. Let's go to the next article. There's got to be some happy here, doesn't there? It's interesting, but I just don't see any of it ending well. Or we're absolute children playing with, these nuclear building blocks, and it's like I don't think we're ready for all this stuff. All right, here we go from unexplained-mysteries.com. Huge mystery space object is traveling at 1 million miles per hour. Oh, that doesn't sound very good either. Astronomers have spotted something unexpected zooming through our galaxy, and it's really shifting. First picked up by a coalition of citizen scientists with NASA's Backyard Worlds Planet 9 project, the enormous object, which is 27,306 times the size of Earth, was situated around 400 light years away at the time of its detection, while traveling at an incredible 1 million miles per hour. I can't describe the level of excitement, said citizen scientist Martin Kabatnik. When I first saw how fast it was moving, I was convinced it must have been reported already. Scientists now believe that the object designated, and here we go with those romantic names, CYJ 124909.08 V plus 362116 could be a brown dwarf star, although it's unclear exactly how it ended up moving at such a speed. One theory is that it's a runaway brown dwarf might have been part of a binary star system that was propelled away at high speed when its companion collapsed into a supernova explosion. Another possibility is that it was part of a globular cluster and was flung out into space by a black hole. When a star encounters a black hole binary, the complex dynamics of the three-body interaction can toss that star right out of the globular cluster, said astronomer Dr. Kyle Kramer. Or Kramer, I don't know how you pronounce that. Whatever the case, the star is traveling so fast that it could end up escaping the galaxy entirely. And this makes it the first brown dwarf of its kind ever observed. Yeah, I don't imagine it's easy to focus a telescope of some kind on something moving 1,000,000 miles an hour. That's a crazy amount of speed. But there you have it. I don't know. Oh, I've been a citizen scientist. Have you, Maggie? Oh, that's cool. I have not. Nobody's been recruiting me for that one because I'm I'm not very scientific, probably. But anyway, I think that's fascinating. I don't know. I don't see that being exploited. Thank God. Unless I'm not going to say it. Never mind. My mind was going full conspiracy there for a second. All right, so there you have it. I'm sure some people say that's Nibiru coming back, and the Anunnaki are going to make us dig gold again or something. But anyway, that's the news. That's all I got for you. Wait, I got one more. Wow, I got one more. I guess that's not just the news. There's more, but wait, there's more apparently. What else did I have? Oh, here you go. This one's kind of more fitting for the Paranormal Portal, ladies and gentlemen. This one is actually paranormal related, and it's interesting. It has to do with ghosts and hauntings from unexplained-mysteries.com. Comes this report from the 22nd of August. Guillermo del Toro claims that his Scottish hotel room is haunted. Well, it doesn't surprise me at all. Over in England and Scotland and Ireland and Europe, there's lots of really old stuff. And if energy is collecting places over time, then these places must be absolute hotbeds for spiritual activity. But let's check out this article. The iconic movie director is staying at the hotel while working on a new adaptation of Frankenstein. Del Toro is certainly no stranger to directing movies with supernatural elements, having worked on such hits as The Shape of Water and Pan's Labyrinth, among others. His latest project, a new adaptation of Mary Shelley's classic Frankenstein, is also consistent with his theme. While working on the new film in Scotland, Del Toro recently made a series of posts on social media claiming that the hotel he is sleeping in might have its own connection to the supernatural. Whilst in Aberdeen, I'm staying at an old 1800s hotel, he wrote, and I'm in the most haunted room of it, which was vacated this morning by one of our producers. Odd electrical and physical occurrences scared her into leaving ASAP. Stay tuned. If anything happens, I will report. Well, a couple of days later, he followed up with another post. Nothing's happened yet, but the atmosphere in the room is oppressive, and I'm not going to spend much more time here, he wrote. It may be suggestion, but at this point I kept it, but am sleeping in another room. I need 6 hours of sleep to have a good shooting day, and I'm stopping there early and late in the day, but something is in that room with me. If anything happens or nothing does, expect 1 or 2 more updates. Okay, well, there you go. There you go. I guess it doesn't surprise me. Hotel rooms often seem to be a good collecting place for spirits. And, if you're, let's say you're a spirit and you're stuck in this world for whatever reason, you're kind of earthbound. Well, where do you want to hang out? Do you want to be in somebody's closet or in a decrepit, abandoned place? Or, would you want to be in a mall or in a restaurant or, in a hotel where things are going on? There's lots to see and experience. So maybe that's a good place for spirits to hang out, just because there's always something going on, something to interest them, I'm sure. If they are indeed conscious spirits, well, hell, that's where I'd hang out. I mean, if you get to choose, that'd be my choice. But anyway, interestingly enough, and that's going to conclude tonight's version of the Paranormal Portal News. I hope you found some of it interesting. Obviously, some of it was plenty disturbing, at least to me. I'm sure some of you share my opinions of that, but it's kind of creepy stuff. Just creepy stuff. But anyway, let's get to it. Let's get back to the rest of the show right now. Right now. Absolutely right now. Here we go. Shamrock Dan's in the house. That's a different kind of haunting, Dan. That's a different kind of haunting. So, all right, contact Brent. What are we contacting me for? What's going on? What happened? I don't even know. All right, well, welcome back to the rest of the show. I don't know what I missed here. I'm looking at the chat, trying to keep up. At first, the list people, then I was like, no, I'm gonna do all the things I couldn't do in life. Yeah, no kidding. I mean, if you get free reign, if you can kind of do what you want, yeah, you could probably waste a couple centuries just seeing things and going and experiencing parts of the world that you never got a chance to see in places they wouldn't let you go. I'd be checking out all kinds of things like, is there really gold in Fort Knox? I've heard the rumors. I'd check it. I would. Hell yeah. But I'm diabetic and miss chocolate. Haunting, it'll have to be. Well, there you go. But yeah, if anybody has any reason to contact me, if you have experiences of your own or you wouldn't mind being a guest on the Paranormal Portal, you can do so by heading over to paranormalportal.net. That's a great central hub for all things Paranormal Portal. It has my social media links and information. It has links to the YouTube channel and mentions Rumble as well. And even TikTok. I put a link to the TikTok there. I don't update TikTok too often, but there's some decent videos up there. I've done pretty well considering the amount of effort I've given TikTok. I should give it a lot more. But anyway, I won't force you to beg you. That's up to you. I just really want to see this picture. What picture are we talking about? I don't know what's going on. Weird Traveler, what is the picture? And what am I missing? Oh, I was supposed to look at my email too, wasn't I? Let me look at that now before we get into the next thing here. Again, I don't see anything. I got Taco's emails last night, unless they went into spam or something. I don't see any other. Let me look in the spam. There's 141 things in there, but lock your profit potential, $2,500 welcome package. Well, that's why they're in spam. Insta-gram. Somebody tried to log in. I don't think that's legit. Paranormal Portal Radio eliminate ringing in the ears. No, I don't. Then I got some porn links being sent to me as well. Somebody's asking if I'm still alive or dead. That's in my spam. I don't know who that is. I don't know. I don't see anything in my email. Where did you send it to me exactly? I don't see anything. I'm sorry. I did look, though. But if you could let me know. Again, the email address for the show is paranormalportalradio.com. Or not .com, at gmail.com, sorry. I'm trying to multitask. I'm a very monotasking person. You mentioned it on an old episode that I listened to a few weeks ago. A photo of Jim Mount gave you. No, I'm not gonna put that on the show anymore. No, that's not happening. There's a backstory on that Weird Traveler, and I'm not gonna put it up because it's not legit. It's a hoaxed picture. I did post it on my social media, but I got a few messages from other people in the community. They're like, "Dude, that's not real." I was like, "Oh, what?" So, and no, I'm not going to put it up anywhere. But I don't perpetuate any hoaxes. I don't have any time for it. And I was absolutely unhappy that it was not something I knew was a hoax. I posted it, and I found out it was a hoax, and I won't be posting it. So, yep. Yeah. So anyway, sorry. That's the truth. But one thing about this show, and one thing about, boo to hoaxers is absolutely right. One thing about this is I will never knowingly perpetuate any hoax at all, because I do this because I'm sincerely interested in the paranormal. I'm sincerely interested in understanding what are we experiencing. I've had many experiences myself. I've talked to hundreds, if not thousands, of other experiencers throughout the years. And I'm on a journey for discovering as much as I can. And you can't move the needle forward if you're throwing out garbage, if you're throwing out, pictures that are not legit. They don't help at all, just like made up stories don't help. And there's several episodes that I recorded with people that I never aired because I hit a point in the interview like, this can't be legit. This doesn't make any sense. Because when you hear enough stories, you end up learning that all of this stuff does have a pattern to it. There are specific hallmarks that are extraordinarily consistent in all of them. And I'm not saying we understand the phenomena, we don't understand what's doing it, but there is a process in which these things take place that is remarkably consistent through a whole body of reports. And then you'll get one report that's like so absolutely different from anything you ever heard. Now it's a judgment call, but I got to trust my intuition. It's like, I don't think this is legit. I can't air this. I have a responsibility for the show and for you guys, the listeners and viewers, to not put out information, false information, or information at least I don't believe in. And that makes me kind of a gatekeeper, and maybe that's not fair, but at the same point, this is my show, and I don't want to discredit it or hurt the integrity of my show by putting out things that I'm not really behind. I don't think that does any good. In fact, I'd rather not do a show than to put out a show that had questionable material. So that's a little bit of the background, but I appreciate the question and the interest, of course, is marvelous, but I just can't put anything like that out. I can't do it. I owe you guys more than that. So I hope you guys understand. I have a question about the video you sent in. What? This is an interesting conversation. Oh, he's talking to other people. Okay. The Real DG or DB. The Real DB is over in Rumble. Good to see you. Thanks for stopping in and checking out. Hope you guys will become followers of the shows. I appreciate that. Oh, that dude. I respect your integrity. Thank you, Weird Traveler. I appreciate that. But I do take this stuff very seriously, and that may seem comical to the skeptical crowds, but I mean, I've had experiences. I've seen things. I've been through things, and I know this stuff is real. I don't know what it is, but I know it's real. I don't have any solid claims about any of it, but I know that my experiences were very genuine. So something's happening. I do too. Honesty and integrity. Thank you. Appreciate that. Oh yeah, Coyote Peterson. That was another. I don't know what that idiot was thinking. When he did that Sasquatch skull thing with the bullet hole in it. I was like, man, what are you doing? What are you doing? And then he tried to say it was a thought experiment after that, but he didn't let on at all throughout the course of those few videos that it was a thought experiment. He was just doing a thought experiment. It's like, dude, you were doing clickbait. And why? I don't know. He already has an enormous following. Why would you do that? But he just wanted a piece of the pie, I guess. I don't know. But anyway, I do perfectly. I would do the same. I would just have to stir my imagination on my own. I respect you all the more for this. Well, thanks. Appreciate that. Appreciate that. Okay. So we're going to move on to the Discord question of the week. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a Discord server. In case you didn't know, the actual link is in the description of the videos on YouTube and Rumble. If you want to look at the show description, you'll see the Discord link. You can join it. You're welcome to become a part of it. If you like the chat community, then you're going to love the Discord because a lot of these same people are over there having conversations. Shelly Montgomery, good to see you. Thanks for coming in. It's wonderful to have you here. A lot of new names tonight. That's really awesome, guys. Thank you so much. And Shelly, if you're not new, you're new to me. And that's probably because of my bad memory, but still. It's like, I don't have a good long-term memory. I get good short-term memory. I actually do have an exceptional long-term memory, but I just find that as I'm really busy and multi-distracted and focused, I can't recall things like names well. Now, there's some times where I can recall names real well, but not while I'm doing the shows. I'm terrible with it. I need to hear Longbeard and Sheldon. Well, Sheldon was on last night. If you watched last night's episode, Herman, you would have heard Sheldon, but he was here last night. And of course, that video is on demand now on both Rumble and YouTube, so you can check it out at your leisure. All right. So we are going to get in. No, I'm new. You are new. Okay. Well, welcome. Shelly says, I'm new. Sorry. Yeah, I didn't recognize the name, so I thought you were new, but I've been surprised to find out that some people I'm welcoming in as new listeners are like, dude, I've been here for 4 months. It's like, oops, I'm an idiot. Sorry. I'm an idiot. I'm an idiot with a microphone, but I got a microphone, so you get to hear all my stupidity. All right, here we go. We're going to get into the Discord question of the week. So I hope you guys are ready, and special thanks to Chucky Danger. I haven't seen him in here tonight, but Chucky has been a longtime friend of the show. He's a great guy, a personal friend as well. And love him dearly, and he has kind of championed our question of the week segment. He will ask a question to our Discord community, and it's your chance to just tell us what you think. Again, with all of this stuff, there's no wrong answers. So, like, nobody knows absolutely what ghosts are, what UFOs are, what cryptids are. We have a lot of ideas. We have a lot of theories, but anything that makes sense to you is just as valid as the most profound Bigfoot researcher out there, or paranormal, researcher, in hauntings and stuff. Your points are equally as valid, because I really believe that you can't discount anything until you can effectively test and remove it. And we don't have that ability with any of this stuff. We're just experiencing these anomalies. So whatever you think is good. Some people are like, I don't know, it might be stupid, but it's not stupid. So whatever your thoughts are, it's our opportunity to hear them. And you guys have given me all kinds of fascinating things to think about in my own personal journey, because of your contributions to the questions of the week. So I really appreciate your participation. Again, look for the link in the show description if you want to be a part of it. We'd love to see you over there. We have a pretty fantastic community. But let's get to the question of the week. That's, I don't have an echo, so that's the closest we're going to get. Oops. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Discord question of the week segment of our show tonight. Again, this is on the screen is the question of the week, the segment of the Discord server. If you're new to Discord, basically, this is the Paranormal Portal Discord server. When you join, you'll be brought to the general tab, which is right here. And that's where I was saying hi to people earlier. Oh, Patty Troy just joined. Thank you, Patty. Welcome to our Discord world. And over here is just basically the different discussion threads that you can click on. As you can see, there's some fascinating subjects, including some really cool things like a paranormal library where people recommend paranormal books they've read, paranormal movies that they've seen that they want to recommend. That can include documentaries as well. Paranormal art gallery is really cool. And that's where people find pieces of art or create pieces of art, and they put them up here. And you can check out all that stuff. It's really fascinating. And then there's paranormal humor, because you can never have too much. When you wake up during your alien abduction. Bunch of cats. All right. And then there's a paranormal kitchen. That's a brand new segment that we've added here, where you can look up some different recipes. There's Nanaimo bars. Oh, that's cool. Nanaimo. Okay, cool. I don't know what they are, but they look delicious. They kind of look like Mom used to make these nut goodie bars. It kind of reminds me of that. But I don't know. I've not tasted them. There's bloody finger hot dog recipe for Halloween. I mean, come on. What's not to love? So if you like to cook, well, there's a stupid cutting board. It's the third time it brings my chicken back to life. Yeah, could you imagine? It's getting up and rocking out of the pan. Yeah, there you go. So there's recipe stuff. That's mine. Cat poop fudge. I've had that bookmark for years because I just thought it was hilarious. These are all Rice Krispies, and those are actually fudge. Can you imagine putting that out on the potluck table? Yeah, baby. That's right. I thought that was hilarious. So anyway, that's out there. This is all part of our Discord community. If you want to check it out, this is actually a recipe. You can actually go check this out, and it'll tell you how to make it. It's just so disgusting and funny. I love it. It cracks me up. But anyway, we are here for the question of the week. And after this, I got to use the loo. Oof. Going to have to take a little break tonight, folks. Because, got the thimble bladder cooking tonight. All right, here we go. Tonight's question of the week, thank you, Chucky Danger, once again, is... I was cleaning the cat box when you said that. Oh, Elaine, welcome to the Bad Timing Awards. Yeah, it'll kill your sweet tooth. I know, I got to actually do that after the show. I got the cat box all full of biscuits of love. Oh, God, it gives me Lulus. That and the dog poops. It's like, ugh. All right, anyway, that's the joy of human. All right, here we go. The question of the week this week is, if you could take any known animal and turn it into a cryptid, give it a whole lore and paranormal ability, what would you choose? Bonus points. Why did you choose a human-sized vampiric hummingbird? Oh, that's kind of terrifying. Could you imagine a human-sized hummingbird? First of all, I don't even know what that would sound like. That sound alone would be terrifying. But you could probably hear it coming like a old Huey copter on MASH or something, because, God, they're a loud bird when they're flying. But, yeah, let's see what people said. Eric, the Wandering Purple Hobbit, came in first and said, a human-sized fox squirrel with human intelligence and an ability to portal. Wow, that's that's intriguing. Probably they're out there somewhere. I don't know if you can think it. I think they probably come into reality somewhere in the multiverse. But Annie Manul comes in next, says, that's a very creative question. I'd choose a Manul or palace cat. They're a small wild cat found in Central Asia and the Himalayas. Manuls are scarce and hide so well that people who live near them may never see one. They blend into the rocky outcrops they live on, so I'd give them the power of invisibility. They have round eye pupils and markings like eyebrows. Because of this, adult Manuls always look stubborn, skeptical, and critical even though they're small. I'd give them X-ray vision and the power to detect lies. Oh, God, everybody'd want one. A Manul always looks like it knows BS when it smells it. Palace cats are also fierce when cornered, so kung fu powers would be cool. They would make a good cryptid and martial arts tail animal. Yeah, no kidding. That's very creative. I got to say, I didn't know about a Manul before. Or palace cat. Hallelujah Goat says a woodpecker. Yeah, God, is that not nightmare fuel? They just pop onto your back when you got your back turned and they just make holes in your skull. Yeah, that's a disaster. John T comes in next, said, how about a pack of human-sized weasels? Oops, my bad. They're already in they're already in politics. Okay. Seriously, I'd like a human-sized chipmunk with a stripe and a little tail. Would be cool. Yeah, maybe. Unless they hated you. Then it'd be a human-sized chipmunk that wants to put your nuts in its mouth. I'm sorry. This is the problem with the live show, is that there's no redoing it. It just comes out. Sorry. Cryptic Chaos comes next. It says a Quetzal with the ability to control the elements would be super cool since it's associated with the god Quetzalcoatl. And then I think the lore is good as it is now. It's given me Ho-Oh from Pokemon vibes. I don't know what Ho-Oh from Pokemon looks like, but yeah, maybe. The Batman comes in next and says, the man-eating rabbit from Monty Python. Yeah, no kidding. That was funny. Grandizer says, interesting question. I'd like to turn a sperm whale because that's the whale in Moby Dick, and turn it into the bloop with all paranormal abilities. If this bloop got as many sightings as Bigfoot or Dogman, would really increase possible tech and mapping of the oceans. Maybe. Yeah. I don't know if this chart is accurate, but there's the Eiffel Tower. And again, if you're not familiar with the bloop, it was a sound recorded in the ocean. I think back in the 80s, but I could be wrong. It might have been more recent than that. But it was this really powerful, anomalous sound that nobody understood. Where the hell did that come from? Everything from the Leviathan to sea monsters to UFOs have been attributed to the bloop. But the bloop is a real thing. I don't know if this is a true estimate of how big it would have had to have been if it was some sort of whale to make a sound that loud. But anyway, interesting. Grandizer comes in. Another creature I'd like to turn would be a giant golden crowned flying fox into the a-hole, which that's, I believe, Filipino, which would nearly be on par with the Mayan god, what is that, Kamazats? Yeah, the a-holes are apparently a cryptid. They're a spiritual creature that are sighted in the Philippines or in Asia. I think that's Philippines. That might be Indonesia, though. But at any rate, the a-hole, yeah. What an a-hole. I don't know. Maybe they did find out what it is. I don't know. I haven't kept up on the bloop. I'm sure they're probably blaming it on something geological, like some kind of tectonic thing. But unless they saw it happen, I don't know how they can be sure. But yeah, I'm sure they're throwing out, oh, it's nothing to see here, because they always do that. You know, you get a mothership landing on Mount Rushmore, and it'd be, oh no, that was swamp gas on Uranus. Sorry. Maggie M10 comes in. I'll choose a platypus. They're super elusive, arguably second only to Bigfoot in the hide and seek championships, and they already look like they've been stuck together with random animal parts, and the males have a venomous claw to extinguish its predators. I'd add wings to it so it could fly and maybe red glowing eyes. Now it's nightmares. Supersize it to megafauna status and turn it into a water monster to give the bunyip a run for its money. Yeah, no kidding. That'd be a terrifying cryptid. Grandizer comes back again. Grandizer is busy. And he says, we can't forget the octopus turned into the nameless thing of Berkeley Square. Oh, the horror. I don't know what the nameless thing of Berkeley Square is, but it sounds horrifying. If it's nameless, it sounds like a Cthulhu kind of thing. Jarfin28, I think this is Jaren from Supernatural Station, says, the Jerusalem bug, potato bug, this thing is downright creepy anyway, and when I was a kid, I was hanging in the garage with my mom and grandma, and the thing just moseyed down the cement floor, and I thought it was a mouse at the corner of my eye, and to my horror, it was this thing. Well, none of us were familiar with it, so we thought it was a mutant, and we hit it like 10 times with a boot, and it still didn't die. So let's say that bug, but as big as a mongoose, eating humans' feet when they sleep in tents in the woods. Oh, that's kind of creepy. Wolf bitten by a man, a wolf that turns into a man called Bob, who works in accounts. A twist on the werewolf, ZX81V2 says. Grandizer comes back again. He's a prolific poster. Draco Volan's flying dragon and turn it into a gargoyle. Yes, give us the cryptid we all wanted since the early 70s movie. Yeah, gargoyles. All right, Rachel 101 comes in. Mine is a scary cryptid. It would be an alligator snapping turtle. Paranormal abilities would include they have the ability to lure fireflies at night that fly above them in shallow, murky waters, and people or other prey are attracted to the glow, get close enough for the turtles to have a bite. And they also use infrasound to paralyze small or large water birds when hunting. This can also work with fishermen in their boats, which causes them to topple them into the water and become food for weeks. Yeah, that's terrifying, Rachel. Grandizer comes back again. Says, love it. I want to say that there's a snapping turtle cryptid. I'd have to look it up. It may be on par with what you'd want. As you know, of the large snapping turtle cryptid that is often said to be an island. I think that's from Asiatic lore. The whole lion turtles or something like that. They were as large as islands about in the oceans or lakes. I don't know. Chucky Danger comes in. The lake Boostock monster is what you're describing. I think people tried to blow the turtle up with dynamite and were unsuccessful. The turtle was said to be the size of a Volkswagen Beetle. Ooh, that's interesting. I'm not familiar with that, Chucky. Very cool. Here's Grandizer again. Sea turtle transformed into this Zaratan. Okay. Yeah, that's very huge. Kieran Elberding closes it up tonight with, I'd choose a duck-billed platypus. I've always been fascinated by them and even wrote a report about them in the 5th grade. Forgotten everything I'd ever read about them, but I could do a deep dive into them and create a whole creative story about them, I'm sure. Well, just saw that Maggie picked platypus. Great minds think alike. Absolutely. That's fine. You don't have to have an original monster. You can jump onto anyone's, but there you go. That has been the question of the week. Special thanks again, Chucky, for coming up with all of this. Hey, Gab Twilly is here. Hello, I'm new here. Bob on the YouTube. Welcome, Bob, or Gab Twilly. I like that name, Gab Twilly. That's pretty interesting. Very fascinating. Very cool, Bob. Thank you for joining. Thank you all for those new people in Discord. Feel free, make yourself at home, chat, look at the different threads about subjects that interest you. If you know of any posts or things that you found interesting about any of these topics, feel free to post them in there. And yeah, check it out. There's also a marketplace up on the top, Paranormal Portal Marketplace. Right here, there's the Paro where you can find the link for Paranormal Portal gear. If you want shirts or hoodies or hats or things like that. Even some stickers are there. Not the ones that I'm going to hand out at the conference, though, because I made those up special. So I'd have some physical copies here. Crystals and jewelry and miscellaneous sales. So those are all there as well. Some very talented people on our Discord, and they're always happy to see your company. So be a part of it. We'd love to have you there. Again, the link is in the descriptions, so please feel free to join. All right, that's going to wrap up the question of the week. Whoa. Boom, baby. All right. I'll tell you what, folks, I got to take a bathroom break. I do apologize. I try never to do this, but I drank too much water. So I got to go take care of business. I'll be back in just a couple minutes, I promise. But in this interlude, I'll play a nice musical break. A song I wrote along with some videos that I threw together just to keep you entertained. Be right back.
Play their games. Everybody loves to place their bets. They don't understand the price I paid. They don't care to comprehend. Trace their lines upon my body, dripping scars across my heart. Raging anger pours inside me as their lies keep falling apart. Just make sure that you're well fed. You break me down and take me down.
Well, there you go. I made it back. I feel much better now. Sup, Brent? Thank you, Isaac. Appreciate it. That's very nice of you. Good to see all you guys. And I really miss the breaks. I like the way things are now, but also miss it. Well, thank you, Maggie. That's very sweet. Yeah, I don't mind it, but I'll tell you the reason that I moved away from doing breaks at all and try never to do them is honestly when I'd be watching the analytics of the episodes, it'd be like build, break. Then the population would build, break. And it kept going up and down. It's like, well, I'm losing people on the breaks, you know. And when I was on TFR broadcasting simultaneously with the YouTube stream, the network took the breaks. So I just did the breaks to keep everything their continuity with it. But it was just definitely hurting the amount of people. Yeah, people kept dropping off. So it was like, I got to quit doing that. So there you go. But anyway, there it is. We are back, ladies and gentlemen. Let me look at the time. I don't even know what time it is. How is it 8:22 already? How did we get here? All right. Every time Brent plays this song, I think he's saying, I'm not a effing bass. I'm not broken yet is what it's saying. Because the song is called Emotional Buffet. And I wrote it after going through a series of really messed up relationships. It's like, what am I in relationships for? It's like an emotional buffet. It's like, oh, here's some good. Now have some suck sausage, you know. It's like, oh God, you know, and all that stress and strain that had. It was like, I went through a cycle in my life where I could, and it was no problem. It's just, I probably sound like a real dick saying this, and I don't mean it that way. It's just some relationships, some people just aren't good together, you know, and I managed to pick several in a row that I was not good with. It's like, man, I can sure pick a lot of broken people. And so I wrote the song. It's like, you know, I'm finished with my silence. I'm not a stupid toy. No more baiting me with kindness just to dance upon my joy. You know, baiting me with empty promise. You're just another bleeping mess. Take another slice of my sanity just so long as you're well fed. And that was the second verse. But then the chorus is, when you break me down, take me down and beat me on the ground. And then it's, I'm not broken yet, you know. So that's what it's like. That's where they all start. You're right, Tommy. I've written some of my best songs in bad relationships, believe it or not. Because music to me is very therapeutic, right? That's where I process a lot of those emotions, because I'm not the type to just be like, I'm a rage. I'm an angry person. I'm going to go get drunk all the time or use chemicals. It's just like, I just get quiet and introspective, and then I just channel it through the music. And it seems to be a pretty healthy way for that to happen. Yeah. I'll take a house plant out on a date before a human. Yeah, well, you know, it's probably a more long-term relationship. Yeah, Shelly says, been there. Yeah. Yeah, that was my song that just played, Shelly. That's one that I wrote. It's called Emotional Buffet. If you ever want to hear the music, that song is available if you ever want to download it. I never really pimp this myself. I'm not trying to self-promote like, oh, look at me. But if you like the music, you can go to brentthomas.bandcamp.com. And the link is in the description on YouTube, I think on Rumble as well. But it's just a link where you can find my songs. If you like them, you know, you're welcome to just go there and listen. If you don't want to download it or whatever, that's fine too. So yeah, there's a few songs over there. Not a bunch. I've got dozens and dozens and dozens around in different states of completed. But at any rate, most of the songs are recorded so poorly that I'd never release them, but I think they're decent songs. They're just not done. So anyway, one time at band camp, found a house plant. Oh, the stories of band camp. Well, band camp, in this case, it's not that band camp, Shelley. It's a site where independent, you know, creative people can release their songs for people to enjoy and maybe even use in other projects. I don't release mine for other people to use. I just post them up there because I just thought, well, why not? They're out there if anybody wants to hear them. And the music or the lyrics are listed there too, so that you can see if you can't make it out, because the recordings aren't great. They're just me in a home studio on a laptop recording some ideas, essentially. So anyway, enough of that. This isn't the Brent Thomas Band music show. This is the Paranormal Portal, and we're going to dive into the Cryptid Corner, folks, because we're there. Special thanks again to Chucky Danger for putting together the question of the week. Really appreciate it, brother. Great. I used to pick all the wrong people too, or they picked me, until, of course, my soulmate hubby and I met and clicked from day one. 25 years later, here we are, happy as ever. Yeah, you guys are amazing together, Karen. It's just really, really wonderful. You're a wonderful couple, and I'm glad you found each other. That's very, very cool. All right, so I went to environmental camp. I went to mental camp. Good to see you, Tommy Cooper. Welcome, brother. Tommy Cooper, of course, one half of the Cryptovania team. He and Jason are wonderful guys, and they have a great show as well. They do some streams and stuff, so check them out. Okay, well, it's time for the Cryptid Corner, and by God, I aim to deliver. So here we go. It's not time for that again. Oops, there we go. It's time for this. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the Cryptid Corner, and we're going to dive into the cryptozoology. Things like Bigfoot, Dogman, etc. There's a really interesting story from Phantoms and Monsters I want to cover tonight. It's a brand new one that Lon just released, so I was like, oh my God, never heard something like that before. So we're going to check that on out. But we're going to start out at Sasquatch Chronicles, because I have one left here from Wes's offerings on his blog, listener emails that I love that he posts. They are pretty cool. Thank you, Maggie. That's really cool. Appreciate that. Appreciate the linking things. You guys are so awesome. And by the way, that transition you just watched to introduce the Cryptid Corner was made by our very own Grateful Owl. Incredibly talented, and thank you so much for that. All right, here we go, and we are diving in to the Cryptid Corner. So buckle up. We're going in. Here it is. The first article is from Sasquatch Chronicles blog. I just, again, I encourage you to check it out. This is an amazing site, all on its own, even without Wes's show. Wes's show is obviously amazing, and he does a hell of a job, but he also does a hell of a job on this blog. Always keeping it current and active and updated, so check it out. There's so much more that he posts than what he could ever cover on his shows, so pretty amazing. So anyway, let's check it out. What am I missing here? Hold on. Oh, I do. Yeah, I do go on paranormal hunts. Yeah, Shelly, I do. I love getting out there and investigating. I'm trying to get something lined up for the near future here with my good friend Charles, but we haven't nailed anything down. He's been out on a couple, but they've been real short notice and stuff, and I couldn't make it work. But yeah, I love going out and investigating. All right, so here we go. From August 6th, Carlisle, Ohio sighting. A listener writes, I just recently listened to episode 916, Butter Street Monster, due to me living down the road from that area since I was 13 years old. Well, now I'm 36 and I live in Germantown right off of Butter Street. I take that road every day to and from work. I transferred schools from Carlisle, Ohio in the 7th grade and lived off of Matt's Paulin at the time of my sighting on Morningstar Road. I bring up my story because Butter Street and Morningstar are extremely close together and are surrounded by the same wooded areas and metro parks. Around 2008, I was driving down this road called Morningstar Road in the middle of the night and witnessed what I can only imagine is Bigfoot, related, or a guy in a very expensive Halloween costume. Background history of Morningstar Road, local town stories of people being killed at a campsite on the road in the 70s. Never really found any evidence about that part, but there are some spooky spots on the road. In some areas, even now, I would avoid at dark. Other stories from the road are an old house burnt down in the woods where The wife was running out in the middle of the road and was hit or fell down the stairs and broke her neck, whichever side of the story is true, I have no idea, which me and my friends were able to locate and find burnt remains of the forgotten house. Then the notorious Bigfoot sightings throughout the years of this entire area. My stepmom was raised her whole life in Carlisle and recalls stories growing up of Bigfoot sightings along Morningstar Road and the Twin Creek, which bumps right up along the side of the road. I recall my old English teacher who told me a story of her returning home from the store one night and seeing, I don't know, that might be a typo, seeing a creature which she claimed was easily 7 to 8 feet tall walking across the street from one wooded part to the other. Well, anyway, fast forward to my experience. It was dark out and wintertime, and there was snow on the ground, which the moon lit up and made it easier to see the wood line and the road. Well, there's a few S-type turns on Morningstar Road that you have to really slow down on to maneuver safely on the road. Trees overlap these areas and make it really dark out at night, with only headlights guiding the way as any backcountry road is. Well, while slowly going through one of the turns, there it was, standing in between a tree or trees connected that formed a Y shape. It stood way taller than a normal-sized person and was covered in brown hair from the head to toe from the angle we were seeing this at. Well, at this point, we're going less than 5 miles per hour due to the roads being slick and the S-turn, so the detail of what I seen was burnt into my memory. Whatever it was squinted its eyes and covered its eyes with its hands to prevent the lights from blinding it, I assume. First thing I noticed right away was when the light shined on its eyes, they were a yellowish color, almost as if it had jaundice or something of the sort. The creature flashed its teeth a little bit as it raised its freakishly big hand over its eyes, blocking the light. The teeth didn't seem to be in the best shape, more browning yellow, but bigger than normal human teeth. It turned its upper body, and you can see the muscle definition on its back, tricep, and lats before it turned the rest of its body and began walk down the hill from the vehicle. My friend began to freak out and scream while I began to yell, "Just drive!" My friend made it around the S-type turn and floored it home, which is only a minute down the road, and that image is forever remembered with clear detail. I tell this story all the time, and every one of my friends laugh at me, but it doesn't bug me. Me being an avid hunter, I think about this time every time I step into the woods and in the morning to hunt deer. It didn't show any signs of aggression, but still a sighting that spooked me. I always try to debunk everything that happens out of the ordinary, but this one has me stumped. Like I stated earlier, it could have been someone in a costume, but it would have had to have been a very expensive costume, which I doubt that they had 16 years ago. Yeah, that's crazy. You know, they say with the eye shine, I've heard, I don't know if it's a legend or just a belief, but I've heard if you see the golden eye shine, you're okay. But if you see the red eye shine, be careful. I don't know. It's anybody's guess. I don't pretend to know. I don't even know for sure how they have such eye shine, unless it's, is it reflectivity? There's some people that claim their eye shine is actually a glow. It's projected, that they have some kind of bioluminescence in their eyes. I don't know how that works, but that's one of the claims. So, but it's up to you to believe what you want. Happy Saturday to you, Nate. Thank you. It's kind of loud. It's kind of loud, that applause. But anyway, appreciate that, Nathan. Nate, thank you, brother. But that's the first story tonight. Now, I want to get to the next story, which is Phantoms and Monsters. I'm going to start, it's brand new. I just pulled it up, but I wanted to pull this up because I saw this headline and I was like, oh my God, I've never heard of anything like this. Now, again, I wasn't there. I can't vouch for the witness or anything like that, but I will tell you that Lon usually does a really good job vetting this stuff. And so if he posts it, I tend to think he's at least looked into it And, you know, I know Lon does a great job. So, again, I recommend you check out phantomsandmonsters.com. This is Lon's Strickler's site, and Lon is a longtime friend of the show. He does an amazing job keeping this site active. He's posting several times a day. The guy is a machine. And he's really had a pillar of this paranormal world for a long time in Phantoms and Monsters, and his work on several different shows through the years. But his current podcast is called Phantoms and Monsters Radio, and you can find his channel on YouTube. Check it out because he does live streams as well, and you can hear Lon talk about a lot of these stories on his broadcasts. So it's just a fantastic guy. He's also does a lot of research into this weirdness with his team of affiliates across the nation, and he is a published author of many titles. You can check that out as well. So again, I can't encourage you enough. Please support what Lon's doing. If you go over and check out his stream and subscribe, tell him the portal sent you. So, all right, here we go. This is from August 24th, 2024. Today, it's today old. Witness observes massive lizard man dragging dog man by the throat. That's crazy. I'd never heard a claim like this before. So I saw this and went, ooh, we're talking about this one tonight. That's incredible. Again, I've heard of these lizard man sightings. Generally speaking, they are usually sighted in human size or up to 7 feet roughly, but sometimes people claim they've seen 9-10 foot tall lizard men's, these giant lizard people. So it's pretty crazy. Let's see what this one's all about. A Midwestern resident is sitting in their yard when their dog starts to act up, and soon after, though hard to imagine, the witness observes a massive lizard man dragging a dog man by the throat. Hello, my name is Katie, and I'm a middle-aged woman who lives in a very rural part of the Midwest, an area where my closest neighbor is just under a half-mile away, just to give you an idea of how isolated it is where I reside. I've never been married. I have no children of my own, but I do have 2 older indoor cats, Calvin and Hobbs. Oh, cute. I love those names. As well as a female Australian shepherd whose name is Banjo. I like the way she names her pets. That's cool. She's my constant companion, is always outside with me when I'm mowing my lawn, tending the plants, or just lounging on my front porch when I sit in my rocking chair and observe my own little slice of the world in the rear of my house. Well, I have a 10-foot by 10-foot deck, and another chair I sit in my backyard is half an acre of grass, which is clear all the way up to the adjoining tree line, which is where my property line ends and my neighbor's begins. Well, I sit back here sometimes to enjoy the peace and quiet of nature and watch the squirrels and birds and ever so often a deer, which find their way into my property. Well, I take a lot of joy in surveying the world around me and always watching Banjo run around and get her exercise when she needs to stretch her legs. What I experienced goes back to last year, October of 2023. Banjo was acting restless and letting me know that she needed to go outside just to do her business, and I put on my sneakers and a light jacket and we went outside on the back porch. I don't know why, but for some reason, she enjoys doing her business on either side of the house. Most of the time, she took off down the steps and went around the corner while I sat down in my chair, twiddling my thumbs, until she decided to come back. Usually that takes no longer than a couple minutes. In typical Banjo fashion, she came back onto the deck, standing next to me while I was still in my chair. However, she wasn't staring at me, as she always does. Her ears were up and her head was tilted, and she was looking past me and behind me in the other direction. And this is the point where I asked myself, what was she looking at? Well, I knew from past experience that seeing one or more deer would get her attention, as would wild turkeys that came to my property on the rare occasions. Well, I turned my head and body to whatever it was that she was looking at, and that was when I saw it, or rather, them. Now, this is the part where I'm going to sound cuckoo, or maybe downright bonkers, but this is absolute truth 100%. It's just nuts, and I'm not even sure I would believe me, but it is what I saw that day. Banjo, too. First, let me tell you that Banjo loves to bark, and she can be a very hyper dog at times when she sees something new to her. But she wasn't barking. She was pressing against me with a very low guttural growl coming from her throat. It wasn't laugh loud, but I could hear it. We were both looking at what was a lizard man, and it was dragging something very large and hairy, which I couldn't tell what it was. Now, this was at the very rear of my property line where my lawn meets the tree line that leads into the woods. I could see the lizard man much easier than the hairy thing it was dragging. What was it dragging, though? My brain was quickly trying to process all of this, and there's no bear anywhere close to where I live. Whatever was dragging, it was massive, but the lizard man was massive as well. I have a shed where I keep old tools close to the back of my property line, and the shed is probably a good 7 feet tall, and this thing was 4, maybe 5 feet taller than it. I did a lot of looking around on the internet after this happened, and the closest thing I can compare it to was the lizard character from the Spider-Man movie. And that's the best match I have for you. Editor's note, I believe she's referring to the lizard villain from The Amazing Spider-Man played by Rise Ifans. Okay. The main difference, however, was the real one had a long snout, unlike the one on the film. Well, as it got closer, I could see that it had large scales on the sides of its body, around the stomach and chest area. Other than the things I mentioned in the lack of clothes, editor's note, the one from the film wore a lab coat, they were a lot alike. The one I saw also had a very long tail that it was whipping around. Well, at this point, my jaw was probably on my chest, and I'm sure if someone could have seen my face, my eyes would have undoubtedly been as large as saucers. The entire time Banjo stood against my leg, pressing up hard and giving that low growl from somewhere deep inside her chest. After a couple or 3 seconds, because things were happening quickly, it was now close enough for me to see that it was holding what seemed to be a dog man around the throat. I didn't know until later on that that was the name people had for them. So at the time, I thought it was just dragging a werewolf. And then I thought, how is any of this even real? The werewolf or dogman, or well, whatever you call it, wasn't moving. It was on its back, and the lizard man had a scaly clawed hand wrapped around the dogman's throat, just pulling it along like a small kid would pull a red wagon behind themselves. And I know I'm aging myself with that, but that's the best comparison I can think of. Then the lizard man stopped abruptly, and I remember the tail still swishing as it did. He turned and looked at me and Banjo for a couple of seconds. I felt indifference in the eyes, like we were unimportant, insignificant, and that we didn't matter to this thing. And it then turned right at the end of the yard and veered into the forest, still dragging the dogman behind it. I've never seen the likes of anything like those creatures in my entire life before or since this occurrence last year. Banjo, however, was nervous for a couple of weeks after that happened and would only do her business right next to the deck with me, keeping a watchful eye on her. She's long since eased back into her old ways of going back to the sides of the house, and life is normal once again. So the source of the story was 12-foot-tall lizard man with a dog man from Crypted's Canada. Wow. Dog man tastes like chicken. I don't know. That's creepy, though. Yeah, I was thinking the same thing, Maggie, when I was thinking of lizard man. It's like, well, you know, maybe it's really a technologically advanced species, or maybe they're just, I don't know. I mean, lizards are formidable in what they do. I mean, look at the natural world. They are very specialized in what they do, and they are incredible survivors and incredibly robust and durable. Now, I know wolves and dogs are incredibly durable too, but when you compare the two, if you had a crocodile that was the same size as a dog and faced them off together, I'd be betting on the crocodile. I mean, honestly, and their hide is so thick and tough, and their jaws are so lethal, and the pressure that they can bite at is just incredible. So I don't know if that translates to this scenario at all, but it was covered in scales. So, I mean, a dog man uses very sharp instruments to damage things, and are very quick, strong, fast, cunning, I'm sure. But if you had an intelligent lizard being that's 12 foot tall and maybe an 8-foot dog man, well, I'm betting the lizard man's going to win. I don't know. It's a crazy story. I've never heard anything like it in all my years of doing this. I've heard several versions of Bigfoot versus Dogman and how those turn out, but I don't know. This one's a crazy one, but Cryptids Canada posted that apparently originally, and then Lon reposted it here on Phantoms and Monsters. A very fascinating story. So I'm not familiar with much of Cryptids Canada, but I want to look into that. I don't know if that's a group or a YouTube. You mentioned how Bigfoot seemed to want to be seen in the stories you shared in the Sasquatch Encounters episode, just like this account. It's as if the lizard man wanted them to see it with the dog man. Yeah. I mean, that's true. I obviously, I don't know. Maybe it wasn't really acutely aware that there would be a person out in the twilight of the day. I don't know. But it obviously wasn't actively seeking cover. So yeah, it was like it was parading it around. And maybe the dog man was up to no good, and the lizard man was like, nope, this is my area, and I'm not going to let you, terrorize these humans or their properties. So maybe it was doing the higher good. I don't know. I mean, I don't know what these lizard creatures are, if they're extraterrestrial, if they're some form of interdimensional cryptids. I don't know. But whatever they are, they generally seem intelligent on much the same degree as a dogman or Bigfoots. They seem to have a wisdom or intelligence. I don't know. There's very few stories of them out there, but they are out there. Generally speaking, they don't go out of their way to hurt people, though, that we know of. So I don't know. It's interesting, though. Again, it was so unique to see this story come up. I was like, oh, my God. I can't help but feel bad for the dogman. It's like, oh, he lost that one. Because you think of Dogman, and it's kind of like Dogman and Bigfoot, the big two. But along comes Lizard Man and just changes the scale. I don't know. Maybe they're venomous. Maybe it bit the thing and it's, it succumbed to the venom. Who knows? I mean, there's plenty of examples of venomous reptiles, and if these are reptilians, maybe there's some offshoot of dinosaurs. I don't know. Anybody's guess, but it might have incapacitated the dog man in that way. Maybe it wasn't a brutal fight. Maybe it was just a Komodo dragon bite, and then it just chased the dog man around until it succumbed. Hard to say. I don't know. But at any rate, that's the story. That was one I really wanted to cover tonight, because it was like, wow, you don't hear those very often. So nice job, Lon. That was fascinating. Really fascinating. Again, I'm not pretending I know the answers to any of these questions, but it's just another thing to put up into the hopper here to see how it relates. And as other stories come in, maybe, we'll have more idea of what that phenomena is. But again, lizard man stories are exceptionally rare. I don't come across them too much, unless I'm just not finding them. Again, if any of you guys find stories that you think would be good to share on the show, love to hear them. Just feel free to send them through to me. I'm okay with that. I don't have a lot of ego involved in this. I do hunt around for things as best I can, but I know there's a lot of things I don't find. So I'm going to try to find one more story for us to cover. Here we go. This is one. It's kind of long. We might go a little long with this one, but it sounds like a good story. This one is coming from Phantoms and Monsters again, and this one's from August 5th. I've had the tab open for a long time here, but I've not gotten to this for quite a while due to any number of reasons. But let's get to this one. And this one is U.S. Army Infantry Squad Leader describes monstrous engagement in Afghanistan. So I think by monstrous, they mean a monster, not a huge engagement of military stuff. But let's see what it says. A U.S. Army Infantry Squad Leader moves his team into a mission location in Afghanistan, and what they encounter defies any known creature, natural or otherwise. Let's hear it. And Lon says, this following account was recently forwarded to me. I'm a member of the United States Army, and I have a personal experience to share that comes from my deployment to Afghanistan. Due to the nature of my service, I cannot and will not share anything that will breach any level of OPSEC or InfoSec in any way, shape, or form, or reveal any details that will or can be construed as such to compromise any operations myself or other members of the U.S. military conduct on a daily basis. But that being said, here's my story. I'm a U.S. Army Infantry Squad Leader, a non-commissioned officer, 10 years in service, and I have 12 soldiers under my command in my squad, 10 soldiers and 2 non-commissioned officer team leaders. My soldiers are ranked E3 to E4, with 18 months experience at the very least, and my team leaders have 4 and 5 years of experience respectively. Well, all of us have at least one combat deployment, together with the senior of my soldiers having 2. And all of us have enough experience in our service that we are absolutely confident in our abilities and skills as infantry soldiers and know what to do and how to do it given any and all combat situations we encounter. So when we're given a mission as a squad separate from our platoon, we did not really give any thought to the nature of the order or the fact that we would be a significant distance from our platoon or any ground assistance whatsoever. Separate from any CAS or ARTY. Don't know what those mean, but those are the acronyms they give us. We could call on or other assets available. I received the mission, issued the Warno, made a plan, initiated movement, gathered recon, and completed the plan. I issued the op-ord, and we Oscar mic'd. I don't know what any of this means. I feel so out of my element. All the making an appearance of the usual and routine mission, something we did daily and completed daily. And then we reached the objective, and it all went to what I can only describe as hell given form. We had vehicles that were specifically designed for being explosive resistant and armored enough to give us an edge in surviving a multitude of situations we would come across. It was dark, and we have the NVGs on and approached a small village, 7 buildings under the cover of darkness, being as quiet as possible, ready for anything. We entered and cleared house after house and found bodies. A lot of bodies. So many it was hard to enter any dwelling without stepping on any of them. And I have never, in 10 years, seen anything as disturbing or as shocking as the conditions the bodies were in. And the sheer number was numbing to behold. Some looked as if they were ripped or torn in half. That is no mistake or typing or description. I literally mean torn or ripped by sheer brute strength. Some look crushed as if a ton or more weight was slammed into them, and I mean pulped. And I've run other human beings over with my 6-ton vehicle and know crushed when I see it. And others looked as I would expect, as if they were, if I were to eat a piece of raw meat with my teeth. If I had teeth, like a shark or some sort of carnivore. Like something had taken a big damn chunk off of them and kept going. Well, the rest looked like what I would imagine some sort of mythical monster or something with claws or teeth or sharp anything would have went through them like so much defenseless flesh all at once. We finally reached the end of the village and met something I can only describe as the closest to a demonic as human language can make it. And it was damn terrifying. Thinking about it as I type this is giving me chills, making my heart feel like it'll burst from my chest, and that at any moment, this thing will burst from somewhere and do unspeakable things to me before it kills me, ripping me apart like a rag doll full of blood and flesh, and I still have nightmares about it. The first vehicle opened up on it with a 50 caliber APT, and he was going cyclic. The next thing I know, I see a 6-ton armored vehicle that can take up to 80 pounds of explosive force and come back rolling, literally fly. Not roll, not flip. It landed in the middle of the freaking village in pieces. 6 damn tons of armor flew 700 meters. My vehicle was next, and I've never cycled an automatic grenade launcher so damn fast in my whole career. And I was linking belt after belt after belt, and I was unjamming it almost as fast as it jammed. And I'm screaming my head off on the radio at the same time, trying to get a hold of my other vehicle, call in CAS or ARTI, and ordered my squad to shoot the damn thing with every weapon we have, even though I know for a fact that we are all doing it anyway. And I'm still screaming, and I can hear screaming and gunfire and some other stuff that sounds like it's millions of voices screaming with us. With explosions and tearing metal, absolute chaos is in control here. And I'm screaming, crying, praying, but then the craziest thing happened. Everything went absolutely silent. No sound, no voices, and no gunfire. No explosions, nothing. The world went mute. And after that, slowly everything came back. My Alpha Team leader who climbed up to me had to slap me hard to snap me out of whatever hellish zone I was in. My best guess is shock. But unlike anything I had ever heard, experienced, or watched, it took hours for me to get it together and start attempting to control the situation and get communications with LT and come to grips. First priority was the first vehicle. We could not raise them on comms, so I sent 2 to go see if they were alive and needed medical attention. And then I realized we didn't get a BDA on the thing we just unloaded on. I directed my driver to get closer to the area, and I noticed something right off the damn bat. There was damage everywhere, except for one spot. And in that spot was untouched and pristine, like it had never been subject to all the firepower we had directed at it. Not a single impact. There was no sign of that thing anywhere, not even a footprint. I've been deployed 7 times in 10 years and have never seen anyone or anything walk away from that much firepower ever. I know for a fact that no human on this earth could. My 5 soldiers in the first vehicle lived miraculously due to the cab being reinforced, but suffered severe blunt force trauma from impact, enough that all 5 in the vehicle were immediately given medical discharge and 100% disability a few months later. My other soldiers are all receiving the best psychological care possible. I'm undergoing psychological evaluation as well due to the report I gave to my command. The treatment given to me and my squad is no surprise. However, the way my report of the incident was handled and what happened after is very confusing and very frustrating. No more about this has been mentioned or acknowledged again. I don't care if someone believes me anymore, as every time I'm asked about it and answer, I'm met with reactions of disbelief or pity and sympathy for my damaged mental state. I'm even attempting to be cleared to continue my service and am forced to lie on my counselors and therapists about my progress in recovering from my experiences. I'm still haunted by this incident, and it still gives me a racing heart just thinking of it. I'm hoping you share this to your channels, and I asked to remain anonymous, to be referred to as Sarge, if anything. Even if you do not, thank you anyway for your time reading this, and thank you for allowing me to send this to you, as I don't get anyone I know outside of my former squad to listen and believe me. Thanks again. Lon has a note here. It says, I'm not surprised by this account. There seems to be a variety of unknown beings in Afghanistan as well as in Iraq that defy explanation. I have read and heard several bizarre accounts since 2003. Many I attribute to possibly stress and battle-related fatigue, but once in a while an account like this one will surface, and there are actual monstrous creatures roaming the battlefields? Or could these be manifestations of a spiritual and non-terrestrial forces? Yeah, great questions. That's crazy. Whatever they tried to hit it with didn't seem to even reach it. I don't know. That's got to be terrifying. But what kind of force is that? What kind of strength? To take an 8-ton vehicle and launch it 700 meters? Oh my God. That's crazy, crazy stuff. But I'll tell you what, folks, that's the show. I hope you guys enjoyed it tonight. Thank you so much for being here and being a part of the journey, as always. I love doing these shows. I have a great time with you guys, and it's a pleasure to meet so many new people checking out the shows. I hope you guys come back and become a part of the family. But there's Danlet. Good to see you, Danlet. Thank you for coming in. But it's great to see you guys. This is the last live show for the week. I'll be back. Well, it's the last day of the week, really, because Sunday's the first, right? First day of the next week. But I'll be back on Wednesday, as it stands, to do another show. And Jimmy should probably be here with me, so I hope you guys will tune in and check it out. I'm sorry, but this seems like a hoax. Too wordy, no description of the creature. Sounds like creative writing. Could be. I mean, any stories that we cover could be creative writing. We don't have the benefit of being able to actually look into it, question the witness, ask them to expand or elaborate on certain points. But what if it's real? I mean, what if there was no way for him to describe it just because it was, as he put it, like a demon? Maybe that terror alone was just hard for him to give a description of. We don't know how big it was. We don't know. Was it man-sized? Was it much bigger than man-sized? There's a lot of questions for sure. And you got to take it for what it is. There's a lot of reports of giants in Afghanistan as well. Well, maybe they're still out there. Maybe there's a lot of things still out there. And these are the hidden truths, the things that are unacknowledged. And so, I don't know. But anyway, yeah, it does fire up my imagination too. And I'm never saying for sure, you got to believe these stories. They're absolutely true. But, again, I do have a little more faith in the story just because it's something Lon published. And I know he does vet them to some degree. So it's not just a blind posting. But, and there again, Lon has a lot of experience in this for decades of the paranormal and Fortean worlds. So I think he's a pretty good gatekeeper in that regard. Like, he's at least, I think, more than, I think he's conscientiously posting these things because he believes there's some merit to them. So at any rate, this is the show. Thank you so much for being a part of it. Check out paranormalportal.net for more information about all the shows that I do and any links to the social media and stuff. Love to, have you guys follow me on social media as well. So that's all I got for you tonight. Thank you all for being here and being part of my journey. And I will see you Wednesday night, I hope. Make sure to spread the word and let other people know that we're here. Watch for the new podcast episode coming up on, Monday. It'll be released on Monday, usually late Sunday night. But it's my interview with Tex of Texas Friends Porch. And he's talking to me. We did a lot of talking about Bigfoot. So hopefully you guys will tune in and check that out. That's available on all the podcast platforms everywhere. Spotify, iTunes, iHeartRadio, TuneIn, TalkStream, Live, Pandora, Stitcher, Google Play, etc., etc., etc. So check them out. You can wait a few days and catch the video version of the podcast as well. I post those here on Spotify, on YouTube and Rumble, and on Spotify. So you can check out video episodes on all of those platforms. But anyway, that's all I got for you tonight. Great to see you guys. Love you all. Be good, be kind, be nice. Take care of each other. Help each other out. Find the magic in every day and remember to laugh as much as you can. And I'll see you Wednesday, hopefully. It's a date. All right. Good night, everybody.